Today we're here at Wine in Linley, where Max and Regan have kindly let us film.
Action! Are we good? Welcome everybody to the second episode of Blood, Sweat and Beers. Welcome to Loz and Callum Thompson, aka Burger. Welcome, boys. And no, you know my name. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
welcome
Barney.
to the show, boys. Tonight we are we from the Wine in Lindley. And Loz wants to say something about this place.
Oh yes, they kindly let us use the basement in here today to host the show. I was a bit confused by the name actually. That's why I never came in here before. I never really drink wine. I'm a bit of a beer man, so I thought I'll stay away.
They do cheese as well, though.
They do cheese. However, if it was called cheese, I would have been in here ages ago. But I came out here for a meal on Thursday night, and it was absolutely banging. The food was. It says small plates on menu, so I thought I need to order loads of these, and then I had to take like a dog bag home. I ordered the beef short rib, and that was the best food I've had in Yorkshire. Absolutely amazing food.
Cheers for the invite.
They'd have to take you everywhere.
Yeah, cheers for the invite. On the date night, I'm not happy that
I'll
I'm
bring
not
you in
invited,
next
but
time.
anyway.
You can sit in the corner and watch.
Cheers, mate.
I saw your review actually on what was it? Facebook. I saw something on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Did Max make you do that, or did you get a discount for that? Or?
We didn't get any discount, but I should have asked him for some discount.
So was that an honest assessment?
It was an honest assessment.
I just thought you were beefing up a mate.
You like your meat, don't you? And beef short rib is absolutely amazing.
Have we got a delivery of it coming down?
Well, we shut the kitchen apparently, so yeah.
And you're hungover, waiting for you to feel better.
Savage.
Right, well, while we sat here and I'm getting thirsty, we have got a pint of Guinness each. So we're going to split the G, and the person that does worst has to down the rest of his pint then.
So you didn't tell me this when I agreed to it.
So unlucky. So I'll go first. Cheers.
Don't like Guinness.
Oh, tell you what.
Yeah, but does the froth count?
No, that's the line. I've split the G.
I think you've actually done it.
I've actually done it, yeah.
I'm getting stitched up here. You boys have been practicing this, haven't you?
Oh, I missed it.
Right, go on.
Poor effort.
I've never done this before, so... Would you look at it when you're doing it?
I don't know, mate. Just find a way. Well, it's going to taste nice with your hangover. Loz, you beat him, mate.
Oh, you have actually.
Yeah.
No, beat me by about one.
Yeah, off you go.
Take the opposite camera. That's worth going down and look at that.
Do you have to do all three now?
I'm just going to do mine.
Go
I
on,
want to enjoy my pint.
Oh, you're not going to enjoy it. Enjoy downing it. That's what you're going to do.
It's like coffee. Bottoms up.
Hold on, mate.
Oh.
Right, let's chat about burgers for a bit.
No.
It might be the longest conversation. So, Bergs, I know you've played at Broads, obviously now at Huddersfield. You've been in the US a bit more. Do you want to tell us a bit more about you as a player, where you've played, and just a bit of history?
Yeah, so I played at Broads late in my junior career. I actually started as a footballer until I was 16.
Okay.
We've got a good picture of him actually playing football in the group, haven't we? That sticker. We'll have to put that in. I'll put
Yeah, we'll put that in definitely.
Dimitar Bergatov, I was nicknamed. That's true. Well, I nicknamed it myself because I had a silky first touch, but didn't move that much, to be honest. But
we've seen you on the football pitch.
Yeah, I'm for a goal.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, they were carved up actually when we played at Christmas, didn't they? I've seen you on the football pitch.
I'm terrible. No, I'm not made.
You are the worst footballer I think I've ever
I
seen.
was a decent goal.
Sam, US Sam.
Sam first.
Was the worst.
Yeah, and I'll take that.
Loz, you were pretty good in goal, to be honest.
I filled the net though, didn't I? So
Very cat-like.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like a pig.
So yeah, I grew up playing at Broads. Made my way into the first team at Broads, and then I ended up having a season out in Australia, which was on the back of just travelling. Me and my mate went travelling with Thailand, and then we went out to Australia and Nick O'Connor put me in touch with a club out there because he coached me at Broads. So I did a season out in Australia, came back, did a few more years at Broads, then went to Cleckheaton for a brief stint.
Yeah.
I think about 7 months or something. Then went back to Broads, and Gaz Lewis at the time was pestering me pretty much every.
As he does.
Yeah. I've got to give him his credit. He's a persistent man, and I think everyone in Yorkshire and even Lancashire knows that he's very persistent. But to be honest, having to do a similar role now, I understand why. Yeah, it's difficult. You know, you've got to have conversations with people, and people surprisingly don't jump at. You expect to message someone and go, "Oh yeah, great opportunity." It's like, wow, everyone's a little bit like, "No, well, hang on a minute, I need to have a good think about this."
Kind of groom you into playing.
He groomed me. Yeah. Is that? Can we keep that?
No. We can keep playing. It's a fine word,
just in case he can afford a solicitor, then not in a sexual way, just purely for rugby purposes. In any way.
Obviously, you've come in the last two seasons as now forwards coach.
Well, 1.5. Well, 1.25. Really. I'm not having the national 2 debacle as my.
That wasn't a bad season. Oh, it was.
Yeah.
We won 2 games.
Let's go 1.25 seasons as
1.25.
forward coach. How have you found the transition from playing to now really taking on the role as forwards coach?
It's tough. The hardest part is being a player as well as coaching, because you're emotionally invested as a player, but you're also emotionally invested as a coach, and then you're playing with your friends as well and people that you get on and respect, and you know, you've got to make tough decisions at times, or you've got to have words, you know, about, like with you catching a ball at the line out, you know, you go have
fair enough.
words. But the easiest part, I think, at this level is you're not necessarily coaching the majority of the squad to do a basic skill. The lads already have the skill of doing it. It's more of a tactical conversation, or more of a strategy conversation. For me, the lads really, you know, I'm not going to teach you how to lift or, you know, you how to jump. It's not really where we're at. Yeah, there's some young lads coming through and they need the support. And even after training, I know you've done some work with some of the jumpers. Loz has done some work with some of the front row, and obviously I'll do a bit of work with the front row. But it's good because you've got a good nucleus of experienced players, really. So
yeah, exactly.
It's quite.
I think you've done a good job. I think the lineouts have improved massively. It's a credit to you, man. It's better than what it was in National 2.
Yeah, the line out has been a tough one. Like, we did start really, really poorly in the line out, but we don't have the tallest team.
No, we don't.
I think, you know, you're our tallest jumper at, what are you, 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
And, you know, you don't move quite as well as maybe you once did across the ground. So, and then, like, you've got...
Who invited him?
What the hell? Are you close to 50s now?
Yeah.
You're not far behind. Neither are you.
The grandfather club.
I'm not coming on again.
And then, obviously, Parfit's sort of been leading it, and he's, what, 6 foot?
Yeah.
You know, and then, obviously, Joe, and then Dan Lloyd's come in. And he never even played rugby union until this season. So, you know, we've had to start him from an absolute fresh. And everyone's done a bit of work with him. And I think at first, you know, someone like Dan, it was a really difficult transition. But what an improvement he's had from.
I think he's only just picked on the line-out calls in the season's done.
Yeah, he knows them now.
He knows.
Well, that's the other part of the problem. And all season, I've been really pushing people to do extra work on just knowing the calls, because you know, like, Billy goes away for a week or something, plays 12, and he comes back the week after. It's like it's a brand new line out. Do you know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know, don't
the horse has made
edit that out.
No. We'll
I'm not having Billy coming after me. But yeah, it's difficult. Like, when lads are not getting the basic calling structure, and to be honest, I try to keep it as simple and as straightforward as we can from where it has been in previous seasons. So it's not like
I think it's worked really well. We've clicked on it at the end finally.
Yeah. It came good towards the end, isn't it? You know, in Papa John's Cup and towards the end of the season.
Yeah, no, it did.
Really well. Percentages aren't quite as high as we want, but
we'll get
we're getting there.
We'll get there.
Yeah, the resource that we have isn't probably as, in terms of height, isn't as strong as
And the thing is, we don't always get the numbers to do competitive lineups.
Well,
maybe
that's-
we'll just roll the ball and a fight from floor.
The numbers did improve towards the end of the season. I think it gave us a bit of a lift.
Your thoughts on the season just gone by?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, on reflection, it was actually the perfect season for us in some way. I know it sounds daft because we didn't win the league. Like, I desperately wanted to win the league, but when you go back to the season before in National 2, we got battered. We won 2 games. We were losing games by 60, 70, 80 points. And it was a big rebuilding process to get to where we are now. And it showed in the first half of the season. Like, we lost 4 out of our first 8 games.
Yeah, we did.
And to get to where we are now, we've been on a journey throughout the season and we've built some real momentum. What did we win, 14 or last 15?
Yeah.
And I just think some of the younger lads could do with another season at this level.
Yeah.
And it just gives us a chance maybe as well to build in some more quality or even bring some of the Colts through and things like that. So I think it's in that respect, like, yeah, it was disappointing not to go up, but ultimately, well, it was more disappointing, I think, for us because we don't get 5 subs.
Yeah.
Which I want to get onto. That's one topic I want to cover, actually.
Yeah, that's fine.
About the subs. I want this to go to the RFU. Because I'm really unhappy about the 3 subs.
Yeah, so the Northeast One League.
We
Yeah,
38 like us. We won 20 minutes rest.
Well, it's not. It's. I don't think it's safe to have 3 subs. Like, rugby is. I get why they did it to encourage second team. Should we move on to this topic now? While we're
Yeah, go on.
Because I'm really passionate about this. Because we are passionate about it, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, I'm too old. I'm too old, in fact, to be playing 80 minutes every week. But I still want to play.
Likewise, yeah. And I think they made that. From my understanding, they made the rule because they wanted clubs to have 2 teams in the second team and have competitive second teams. So they weren't putting 5 subs on a bench, for example.
Yeah.
And then it was at the detriment of a second team. But I think one half the clubs can't even really second team anyway, so it's irrelevant. But secondly, rugby's moved on, like, from where it was physically, like the strength of the players now. There's a lot more high impact collisions,
collisions and
more protocol around head injuries. Like,
right.
you know, last season I've seen lads like getting knocked out in this league, and they have to play. They have to keep playing. After they get up, they go off, and they come back on.
Yeah.
Because you get 3 subs, and if you lose one of them,
As Loz said earlier in the season, he said he thinks scrummaging at this level was more physical than National 2.
I disagree.
Do you?
I disagree. I think the tight heads that I've come up against in National 2 have been better. There's some big heavy packs, but I think even when you look at the game against Oundle,
they were a different team altogether. They were bloody good. Yeah.
But like technically, like, you come up with in National 2, the hit and the sink is, I always felt, was a bit stronger, a little bit more pressure. There's some big heavy packs, but I don't think you quite get that pressure.
I think what Loz trying. I think the refs ref it better there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So here it's more physical and demanding because it's harder. You don't have the judges.
Packs are heavier, so from a tight head perspective, it's just so much pressure going through your body. So I feel like, you know, if you're doing like scrum after scrum, week after week, you can't be playing 80 minutes out every week with that amount of weight coming through your body.
And that's where the 3 subs thing makes it really difficult on you guys.
Yeah, and then the other thing you got to consider when you're picking a squad, you've got to like pick lads on. Oh, well, he can cover this position, or he can cover that position, and then you're also having to put lads in positions that they're not necessarily
like Ethan's done us a good job.
Yeah, and then I'm speaking to like someone like Tom Dolan to step up and learn tight head as well for next year, because that'll give us. I'm thinking, well, if you've got someone who can cover second row and prop, it's going to be a real valuable asset in terms of being able to cover. Although I do think long term that's probably his best position. You know, I think that's where he will end up playing. To be honest,
Tom Dolan is a big, heavy lump.
He just needs a bottle of rosé before he plays.
Bottle of rosé. Maybe we can get sponsored by wine.
Just give him a
bottle of
rosé.
Tom Dalton.
But I think that was good for him. Obviously, when he's a naturally a quiet lad, isn't he? And you know,
we don't give rosé for every game though. But,
we should do. He's a different person on it, but
and well, even like you look at Tom, how far he's come. Like when he came down in pre-season, and he was obviously really quiet and he's a little bit subdued, and he didn't really. I've always said to him this season, like, I want you to go out and go looking for the ball. You're a big lad. I want you to use your weight. And like, if you look at like the last 5 or 6 games, and we've used him more in a role where he's actually coming off the bench to give us that
And
impact as well
forward.
forward. He's doing really well with that. And
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, what was the question again? Anyway,
We were all about the season, but no, I think you've covered
So,
quite a bit of it. So
I think just to finish as well, because I prepped this in the mirror earlier. Don't tell me you don't do it, Loz.
I'm just off the cuff.
No, I think
I do have my shirt off though.
what was good for us in some sense, because we'd won 14 out of 15 games. Yes, it was disappointing to lose the final. It was a little bit humbling. But when you look at the team that we lost to, it shows the levels that we can aspire to. Like, at least we've gone in now a little bit more humble, knowing that we've got a big pre-season ahead. And even though we won 14 out of 15, we could have lost, I think, 3 or 4 out of them.
we could have.
You know, Heath away, Driffield at home, we could have lost.
Yeah.
There might have been a couple, Scunthorpe as well, for example, away. So I think what we need to look for next season is a really strong pre-season and put teams away better.
What do you think about us going to the other side of the league?
I'm all for it. You know,
I think most of us like it.
I think.
Yeah, I think it might be better in terms of the fixtures. Like, I think we might be beneficial because there's a lot of teams that won't see us as this massive threat that all the Yorkshire clubs know we're this massive threat. Yeah. You know, it's always a grudge match against Keaton, against Heath,
Sandal.
Yeah. Loads of clubs who just want to beat us, and obviously these teams will want to beat us, but I don't think that that level of rivalry will be there.
There's no bragging rights in it either. I think it's just going somewhere new. A lot of those teams I've never played.
No.
So it'd be nice going that side and playing different sides.
I don't think I've played against many. Like, Wirral, we've played. Yeah. I played against, obviously, them before. Stockport.
And Salmians, Manchester.
I've never been. I'm Alcinders. What are they called? Alcinders.
Yeah, they're in our league, yeah.
Sorry.
We'll cut that
Unless you bring in brief short route down, then you're
We're out of groups.
I'll have another pack of Coke, please, mate.
Another pack of Coke.
I'm alright.
I'm okay, cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So I like that. We'll leave that in then.
Yeah.
On the best player in the league for you that we played against?
Best player in the league that we played against? Try to think. I can't. You couldn't.
Mine was a Scunthorpe 8.
He was a good player.
Yeah.
There was some really good. But I'm just trying to think who really damaged us as an individual. To be honest, can I come back to that?
Yeah, you can come back to it. And best player in our team.
Tom Hainsworth. He was the one that probably made the biggest impact.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said
I
as well.
I think he won that sort of game on his own, and you can see since he's been injured, Clerk are not the same team without him, and it was disappointing because obviously Scunthorpe went there at the end of the season, and they didn't quite have that same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he's a player that could play a much higher level than this league. You know, I think he's absolutely quite.
I rate the Sandal 7 highly as well.
Yeah,
He was a good player, especially in ours.
Quite a good player.
Yeah,
good player.
big strong lad.
Yeah,
Gets over the ball well.
Best team in the league?
Us.
Apart from us, that you thought.
To be honest, like, I thought when we go back to the start of the season, we lost some of them games. We weren't really up to standard. I think Alnwick, when we played them away, were really, really strong. They beat us fair and square that day. And to be honest, Heath did surprise me when we played them down at their place. Like, I expected it to be a difficult physical game, but they surprised me by how they actually played. I think they caught us off guard in that first 15 minutes. They threw it really wide. They put the back rowers out in wide positions, and
they moved us around.
Yeah, I expected them to kick it a lot more and
I felt like I was dying after 5 minutes.
And 5 minutes, I was like, Jesus.
White flags up.
And it wasn't the biggest pitch in the world, and we were all going, gee, this is really quick.
I needed the defib in that game.
I know, man. You've got me folded in the scrum for resting.
I only rested one scrum.
I know.
Yeah, and obviously the big heavy lads like Pumba is a big lad. You're going into a scrum, running around like that, and it takes a lot out of your legs. So it's quite heroic that I played 80 minutes that day, to be honest.
I think I played 78. I came off. I pulled my
NFL player, came on.
Get my confidence scrums.
Right, Lions obviously going to Australia. We made our predictions last week. I said 2-1
3-0.
Australia. You said 2-1 Lions.
Yeah, it's a
3-0 Lions.
3-0
I think,
Lions.
it's a big
Wow.
call, that, isn't it?
All right.
I don't really rate Australia, to be honest.
Okay.
Well,
That's the end of that one. That was short.
Boring talk, isn't it?
All right.
This for service.
So, on to the next part of the podcast, obviously, is the story time. We're going to start with Loz. He's got a very good one. Obviously, keep it PG, Loz. Please.
This is story time. Can't name any names with these, but people who were there at the time will know who it is. This is a historical story. We need to go back 21 years. I just finished sixth form college.
I'll say you were 30 then, weren't you?
Yeah. just finished college, and so me and a couple of lads from my school rugby team, we wanted to go out, have a few drinks, but everyone who knows me knows that I like a fancy dress, and this in particular fancy dress was schoolgirls. So we dressed like schoolgirls with short skirts, short tartan skirts. And we decided to wear some tights as well, and I couldn't get any high heels to fit me, but I had that nice little like knotted shirt and all that. So there was like 5 of us went out like that. We looked like a set of weirdos, but we were all really skinny. So we decided to raid one of our mum's drinks cupboard, and we all drunk like I'd say about good like half a bottle of whiskey each. So we get a bus into town, we carry on drinking. We get to the first bar, we carry on drinking a few shots and stuff. And then one of my mates, he starts farting, and he starts to stink. And I said, mate, what's up with you? He goes, oh, my tummy's getting really bad. My stomach's killing. I said, mate, get yourself to the toilet, you're going to have an accident. And he was like, no, I'm not. I said, get yourself to the toilet, you stink. You absolutely stink. So yeah, he goes off to the toilet, and I don't know where he's gone. It's been about half an hour. I give him a call, and he's still sat on the toilet. So we go and bring him out, and he's been a bit sick. He's not feeling too well. And so we get him a drink of water. He's stood at the bar, and then I smell him. Oh God! And he stinks like he smells worse than you smell anyone. And I said, mate, have you had an accident? He's like, no. I went to the toilet and I pulled my skirt up and I had a dump. And I said, you pulled your skirt up, yeah? Went, yeah, I pulled my skirt up, had a dump, sat down. And I said, you pulled your skirt up? And I went, yeah, and I pulled my pants down. But what he'd actually done, he's pulled his pants down, but his tights were still on. So we're stood at this, in this quite nice, trendy bar in Doncaster Town Centre. And he then stands up like this, pulls his skirt up, and he goes like this. Oh, Loz. I have had an accident, right? And he pulls out this whole turd in his hand, right? So we're in the middle of the bar, and I'm like, mate, drop it, we're leaving. Right? And he's got this fully formed turd in his hand. He's like, oh yeah, look, sorry. And then he instead of dropping it, he throws it across the bar, right? So he flips it like that, and then does anyone ever have that moment in their life where everything goes in slow motion? Right, so I'm watching over this turd, and it's going through the air.
Oh.
Only it gets worse and worse. Right, in this bar there is a 30th birthday party in that direction, and there was 20 massive guys with bull rings. I can't say who it was anyway, but this turd carries on going. This guy's got a white shirt on, hits him on the shoulder. So hits him on the shoulder, drops on the bar next to this guy with his white shirt on. Nice turd print on his shoulder. So I'm saying, let's go. Like we're running off, right? And then my mate waves at him and says, "Sorry." I'm like, "We're going." Yeah, sorry, it was me. Sorry, I had an accident. Right, and then the whole bar just erupts. 20 of their guys just come over.
At what point is he admitting to? Why is he admitting to
That's
it?
the thing. Why put your hand up and say sorry?
Yeah.
You just run, don't you?
I think he drunk that much. I was trying to get. So I just tried to get him out of the bar, and he got a good beating anyway. But
Did you leave?
no, what happened is I was trying to pull the people off him. and luckily the police showed up, and then he explained the story to the police, and then they and they were like, "You weirdo! Why did you do that?"
Did you go for one of your bear hugs? You like you like a wrestle on the floor?
There was a few bear hugs, but there was too many of them, so there were just chairs all over the place. Whole place were trashed. So yeah. Well, I mean, luckily it was all right. He had a few bull ring prints in his forehead, and that was about it. So yeah,
fair enough.
That's the story.
Don't know why I admitted it. But
well, I'll keep mine a little bit short on that one. That was an epic. That was an epic. it was a good one. I'll keep it
just
short
had
and
to
sweet.
edit Berger talking about this popular
So one of the
initiation.
I'm not allowed to mention the club. Well, I signed for Clecky, and then I was playing for Clecky, and I mentioned the club.
yeah,
And around my first bus trip, the lads were like, right, pour a load of beers down. So I'm at line up floor, top off, cider, carling, just getting poured. I'm like, ooh,
Having the time of your life.
having time in my life, I'm getting waterboarded basically. But it gets to the point where you actually start to choke on it. And I'm like, what's going on? You can't see up because obviously the sheer volume of drink that's coming into your face. So I'm like, ugh. Anyway, I'm like, that does not taste like cider or carling anymore. Cider or carling anymore. So I shut up, stop, wiped on my face. I just stood and the Cleckheaton captain at the time, I won't mention his name, but he's a long-standing Cleckheaton captain. He also captained Huddersfield.
He got 300 plus caps.
He's got 300 plus, and he looks like Gimli from Lord of the Rings. He was stood there with his wife absolutely in hysterics, and he obviously used me as a toilet. But luckily, it wasn't a number 2, so I can thank him for that. So thanks for keeping it clean.
A true gentleman.
Yeah. A true gent. So
I've actually seen him do that a few times, to be fair, so yeah, good one that. Yeah.
Surprised he didn't do it to you, to be honest with you.
No, I had someone else do it to me. I was stripping, I won't say who.
It weren't a twin brother, was it?
No, actually it wasn't.
We're giving this away now.
No, it wasn't, but it was one of them. No. Good times though. Let's get back to rugby if we have to, unfortunately. Did any of you watch the Premiership on the weekend? I didn't. I had a Saturday out.
I didn't watch it, No.
No. The semi-finals coming up this weekend. Bath, Bristol and Leicester Sale.
I saw that. Was that the week before the Underhill had a shot?
Yeah, that was the final the week before. That should have been a red.
Yeah. In his defence,
he's been banned for 4 weeks.
I know. The thing is, when you slow things down, and I did it in the first minute of the head-on-head in the first minute of the final.
Yeah.
Joe's fault, he missed a tackle, but at full match speed, things happen so much quicker than what I don't like about TMO is the slowing it down. It's super slow. You should review things at full speed, in my opinion.
And the reaction time is it's that quick. It's so hard. But yeah, so Bath Bristol first semi-final. Who are we going for?
Bristol have been good all season, haven't they? So
I'll go Bath.
Yeah. You're going Bath.
They're top of the league, so I'll go there. Bergs? Don't care.
I don't really follow rugby that much. I don't like it. No, it's Bath. I'll go Bath.
Bath. Leicester Sale.
We'll go with Northern teams. We'll go with Sale.
I hope Leicester do it because I've got a friend that's a Sale fan and he talks absolute nonsense.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going Leicester there as well. So yeah, I don't know if you guys saw what happened in the Sharks Munster game on yesterday. So they both scored 3 tries, both kicked all their conversions, both had 2 penalties, and after extra time it was a draw and they had to have penalty kicks.
That's the way rugby should be played. That
and they had
penalty kicks.
The South African.
The Sharks against Munster in the ERC whatever championship, and then went to penalty kicks. And the Sharks won 6-4.
What are a South African team doing?
I don't know. I think that's the biggest mistake ever. They should have never stopped the Super Rugby.
Yeah.
And it should have continued like it was. That's how I feel, but it is what it is. It's quite a funny ending, that.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be happy doing that because that's got the right boot on. Yeah.
So I think they should start with the props and then go down the list of the penalty
kicks. I think
kicks.
so, yeah.
What, so they had to all have a penalty kick?
Yeah, well, they had to have 6, and if it was still level after 6, they keep going until someone
missed. Take
missed.
from the 22, don't they? Is that right?
22, then on the 15s, and then it goes back to the 10.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, so that was determined that way, and Sharks won that. What a way to lose, though, a rugby game. Penalty kicks.
I'd happily lose like that, 'cause then I can have an excuse. So.
And you can't blame the ref this time.
Referee, or it was penalty shootout. What a terrible rule.
Okay, Yorkshire Lancashire played yesterday. Yorkshire have made it through to the final.
Hey!
Well done on them. Who've they got in the final? Do we know? Do you know? No one cares. Some other
Come on, Yorkshire.
county. That's obviously at Twickenham on the same day as the North East Northwest games being played.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that's going to hinder the selection for the North East team, I believe.
Yeah. That's interesting that they've done that. I know you're involved with the East team. Have you guys started training?
No, we haven't started training yet. I think we're just going to do a couple of sessions before. Yeah, it's going to hinder the selection for the North East team. So there's a few guys from the North East Dream team that are playing for Yorkshire. So I think the North East will still do pretty well. But we haven't started training yet.
Has the majority of the lads accepted to play anyway in general?
Yeah, most are.
Because I know last season quite a few changed.
Fanny couldn't play, I don't think. Yeah.
I think Billy's playing.
Is Billy playing?
Yeah.
Is Billy playing?
Yeah, Billy's in
Oh,
there.
well done. I think he deserves to be.
He got the message, yeah.
Oh, did he come in for?
I don't know.
Maybe
Fair enough, well done.
Very funny, yeah.
Just so by the way, that game's on the 21st of June at Heath.
It is, yeah. It's at our old rivals, Heath.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I think that's about it for today. Anything from you on any rugby chat or anything else?
I've got nothing.
Berger, how's the hangover? Feeling any better?
Yeah, well, it's better having a conversation with you two.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. I think that's the nicest thing you said.
Just one thing. Do I get a complimentary top?
We'll get you a t-shirt, mate.
We only got printed this week, so
we'll get you one, mate. But thanks for
all
coming
your guests have.
Yeah, we'll get you one, mate.
Yeah, that's
what size do you want?
Oh, we'll take it off.
Yeah, but mate, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it and looking forward to working with you another season. And hopefully we win this league and go up, and then me and you can retire and watch them play national too.
Yeah. Well.
And
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Please like, subscribe,
Well,
and give us a comment.
There you go, fair enough. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
Thank you.
That'll do.